Okay, testing. Hmm, testing. Testing one, two. Testing, testing. I don't know if I can be heard. If there's anybody in the room and hear me okay, will you type one? Let me know if the microphone is coming across okay. If someone could type a one and just let me know if you can hear me okay. If the audio is okay. If not, I'm going to just go on and assume that it's okay. You can hear me. Okay. All right. Well, I'm back. And my name is Jaquab Yisrael. Welcome to my channel. It's a channel where I have only one mission. I have only one purpose, and that is to try to spread the light of the Creator. The Creator as revealed in the OAHSPE, the Oahspe Guidebook Bible. This channel, it only has one purpose: to spread the light that's currently being shared by the Creator, whom the world calls God. The Creator is the one who creates gods and lords and everything. Now, my channel, I've been off for a while. It was exactly a year to the day today that I took a break. There was an issue I was dealing with, still dealing with it, but I had purposed to come back a year later and pick up where I left off. And since then, I've really learned a lot. I found out about the Oahspe last year, and I feel a real burden. Even when I first found out about it, first started studying, listening to it, I felt a real burden to talk about it. I had to share it. I've been a spiritual man all my life. I've been on a winding, twisting road all my life, trying to find out what it was that was nagging at me. And it took me till my early 60s to finally find what it was that I was looking for. And I think the Creator, He will test you. He will test you like that. Since I found out about the Oahspe, the Creator has taught me a lot about my life, what it's for, where I'm going, where I've been. The Creator talks about other spirits in the world, other people in the world. We all have a common destiny. That is, eventually we're going to enter into the spiritual realm. All of us, we're going to enter into the spiritual realm. And then the Creator says that's when the real life begins. But I really believe, in my soul, I really believe, and I can't stop shaking my head, that I finally found what it was that I've been looking for. I finally found that the truth that resonates 100% with my spirit. And in the time that I've been off, I have really come to a great conviction that while I'm on the red star, that I should take every moment, I should dedicate myself to spreading the light, the knowledge that He's now sharing with us. I'm convinced more than ever to speak. I have a strong desire to speak and share, even if no one will listen. It's not my responsibility. My responsibility is to share what I know. We all have a responsibility. Vetus, which is what the creator calls those of you that can believe in the Oahspe, the OAHSPE. And I want to dedicate my channel to those people who are truly, honestly faithists. Because I'm gonna tell you something. You have one hell of a fight on your hands. You got a hell of a fight, you faithists. We got a hell of a fight on our hands. What do I mean? I mean that when you read the Oahspe, the creator, he says things like, he's made our reality like climbing a mountain. I was studying one night and I asked the AI computer a question, and it described our reality is like a plant in a hothouse that is conducive to plant growing. And our life, the creator, our reality is the same way. We have conditions, there are conditions, there are experiences, a lot of things that contrary to the way we would like things to be. If we had everything 100% the way we wanted it, everything went right every day, all the time, there's not a single one of us, not a single one of us that would struggle or be dead or dedicate ourselves to trying to understand our spiritual self, to grow our spirit. There's a saying in the world where it says that a diamond is created, or is it a clam or is it a diamond? It says that a pearl is created by friction, meaning, the clam and the pearl and the sand, it creates the pearl because of the constant rubbing, the constant friction. It's the same way for us faithists. We outnumber, especially at this time right now where the creator, he says we're in a different era, the cosmic era, where the physical and the spiritual come to maturity. And basically, we're in a time of we're in the first 200-year cycle since the beginning of the cosmic era. We're coming to the end of a 200-year cycle. The creator, he does things in cycles in 200 years and 400 years and 600 years. And I want to share something, man. If anybody can hear me, I really want to share what, our situation is like waiting on the bus for faithists. It's like waiting on the bus, man. If you miss the bus, you got to wait for the next bus. These things that I'm talking about are being revealed, the light to help us we can't resurrect ourselves unless we have knowledge. It's equal to you faithists. Right now, you're catching the bus. The creator, he sent the Oahspe. Some of you brethren, some people in the world subscribe to it. Most people do not. You brethren who are able to subscribe to it, that's the equivalent of catching the bus. And for all those who do not want to subscribe to it, do not want to receive it, want to learn, you have to wait for the next bus. Well, guess what? The next bus could be another 200 years down the road. How about another 400 years down the road before the next bus, quote unquote, comes along, meaning revelation of light? Because the creator, he sends the light, and then flourishes for a while, and then it begins to die off. And then it's like blowing up a balloon. Every so often, he blows up the balloon, and then the balloon begins to lose, it loses air. It's got to be blown up again. That's the way mankind is. He's got to be infused periodically with light. Revelation has got to come periodically. The lawgivers, Chinea, Poe, Sakea, Moses, Zarathustra. Did I mention? I want to try to remember all of them. The lawgivers, there are like 8 of them, 7 or 8 of them. Joshua. They all had one thing in common. They talked about the Great Spirit. They talked about the Great Spirit, man. You cannot miss that. They talked about the Great Spirit. And for a while, they were able to bring in a harvest. If you read the Oahspe, I'm talking about the Oahspe, man, The Creator, he would send the Ethereans. They would bring revelation and light. They would reap a harvest, millions and sometimes billions of people. And they would reap a harvest for the Creator. They bring the light, bring revelation. The lawgivers, they all pointed to the Great Spirit. That was the one thing that they had in common. They talked about the Great Spirit, the Great Spirit, the Great Spirit. Taught us how to live in communities, taught us how we can resurrect ourselves, taught us how to fight, to learn that we are infiltrated by Satan. We're infiltrated by Satan, man. Satan is the self. We live in a world that is infiltrated by Satan, man. And the genius of it is you can't see Satan. It's a vibration that everybody has in them. Now, faithists, they know enough to know that they're affected by that vibration too. The tetracts, those evil vibrations, that's called Satan. And we know enough. That's where the light is so important, man. It is so important. When you learn to identify the enemy, then you can do battle against him. Now you can fight, man. So when you get those thoughts, you want to pick up a gun, you want to do evil, you get this vibration on you where you just want to be evil, man. That vibration that America is famous for, they place their safety, their security over everything else. They place their liberty over everything else. We are a country where we only know our own flesh. That's all we know. To the point where even as I speak right now, we're getting ready to go into a war with Iran. Why? Because of the flesh. Matter of fact, I posted something in my room on Facebook. I posted something. Every now and then at night, I love to study and reflect and meditate and think. And so I just have conversations with AI a lot. And I ask a question like, is it possible for false gods to use only a small group of people to control a majority? And it said, yeah. The Oahspe is full of examples like that. See, that's what we got going on in our country right now. We got a small minority group of people who are influencing this nation to do its bidding. I don't want to get into specifics because I'm not interested in. The truth is not welcome in this reality. It's not welcome. So you have to be careful when you're doing podcasts like this about the things that you say. But for those who know what I'm talking about. False gods, they have more they have more power. They have more wisdom. They have more knowledge, and they know how to influence us. They know how to deceive us. They know how to take only a few people and give them power over the whole majority. And that's where we live. And the creator is calling us as faithists. We got a lot on our plate, man. I'm telling you. He tells us we have to fight ourselves. He tells us to, I mean, that's basically the primary thing when you read the Oahspe. We have to resurrect ourselves. The creator, he tells us that it's our responsibility, and we can only do that through knowledge. Now, we live in a world, I'm telling you, man, it's amazing to me the world you brethren live in. I mean, it is amazing, man. You know, the Bible, it takes on a whole new meaning to me now. And I'm doing a lot of talking right now because I don't want to start getting all fancy with the computer. I have to relearn how to use this thing, and I don't want to get myself all tied up in knots going here and showing different screens and, trying to do backflips with this thing. So I have to play with it from now till I get proficient with it. So for this broadcast, my initial broadcast, I'm gonna do a lot of just sharing. I'm gonna just do a lot of sharing. Now, what was I gonna say? I had a point. I wanted to say something. I think I was saying something about how we are in a situation where when you are really growing and the creator is showing you, you know. Hey Mahalia, how you doing? Bishop Mahalia. Hey Mahalia, can you hear me okay? Is my audio is coming across okay? Would you type one if you can hear me okay? It's good to see you, sis. I'm back. So I think I'm gonna start off like a couple of times a week, Fridays, Tuesdays. And I think I'm gonna hang out there for a while. So if you can hear me okay, would you just type a one or okay, thanks. Thank you. So it's good to see you, sis. Good to see you. Um, I want to tell you, brother, man. I mean, this year that I took off, I'm telling you, man, I have really learned a lot. I have really learned a lot about what we are up against. I think I was going to start talking about the darkness that's in the Bible. There's a phrase in the Bible, and like I said, I don't want to get too fancy trying to jump from screen to screen because I'm relearning how to do StreamYard, and it's already blinking on me on my end, and I imagine it's probably some interruption on your end. I don't I don't want to start fooling around with it while I'm live. So I'm gonna just do the best I can, and I'll do some jumping around in future broadcasts. But I was gonna say the Bible has taken on a whole different meaning for you, brethren, for us. It should take on a whole different meaning now. Now, the Creator calls the Bible a partial revelation. It's only a partial revelation. The Oahspe is a more complete revelation. The Bible is a partial revelation. Now, I see the Bible now in a different light. I see it in a different light now. There are I believe that the creator allows us I think he gave us, now I don't believe that the Jesus Christ of the New Testament ever existed. I don't believe he ever existed. I believe he was a construct that false gods gave to the world in order to bring men into subjection to religion. Now I believe Joshua was real of the Oahspe. Now I believe he was real. Joshua. Now, one thing that I'm beginning to love about the Bible now is things come to your mind that apply to us as faithists. A lot of things come when you read. It's amazing to see how I really think the Creator allowed the Bible to come into play, because in looking at the construct of Jesus Christ, we would see ourselves. Now, again, I'm not saying I don't believe that Jesus Christ of the New Testament ever existed. I don't believe he existed. I believe he was 100% a construct, a made up myth that the false gods gave to their people to give to the world so men would fall down and worship the beast, which is religion. Now, one of the interesting things, I mean, again, the Bible just keeps on coming back at me. I mean, verses, and I give you an example. Now, I think it's in Second Timothy, where it says there's going to come a time when men will not adhere to sound doctrine. Now, that was Paul writing to Timothy, and I don't know exactly what his purpose. I think the phrase, it speaks for itself. He's telling Timothy there's going to be opposition to the gospel that he brought, Paul. I'm not advocating Paul as, a faithist. I don't, you know, I, I, I don't know, brethren call him an agent and all kinds of disparaging things. And I don't really care. I just look at the words and I just see what I can learn from reading and the things that he taught. And I try to, but anyway, he was talking to Timothy. He said there was going to come a time when men will not adhere to sound doctrine. I'm really itching to get it and show it to you on screen. I'm just afraid if I start dancing, then I'm going to start running into problems. And I'm really itching to get it, man, and show you so you can see the wording yourself, where he says that there's going to, matter of fact, here I go. I'm going to do it. I got to do it. I just want you to see it, man. And I think there's more power when you see the word in your. Bear with me for 1 second while I bring it up. And I'm going to do this a lot. I'm going to start doing this a lot now on my channel. I'm going to start referring to the Bible in a lot of places to show how it really is a good picture of what we is because it's kind of choppy on my end. And this is our reality. out right here. Now, let me make sure it's seen. Trying to get it to come up. Just bear with me a second, brother. I'm trying to. I got to see what I'm doing here. Okay, it says in 2 Timothy, I hope you can see it on the screen okay. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. Now that's 2 Timothy 4:3. Testing, testing, testing. Testing, testing. Testing, testing. Test, test. Okay. I think my screen is frozen. I'm sorry, brethren. I was afraid. So I just got to try to just push through this broadcast and then deal with these issues later on. I was wanting to show you what our reality. If you're anything like me, where when you go out in public and you talking to people, the subject of spirituality or God always comes up. And I asked the creator, I went and bought these index cards that help me to point people to the creator. I have a picture of the Oahspe on one side and some on the back. I talk about how the creator creates gods and lords, and I hand them out to people. Oh, you know how people like to say, God bless you, and, bless you. And I ask the creator to let that be a sign to me that whenever someone says something like that to me, to give them one of those index cards. I love to give them an index card where it has a link to the Faithist website. And I have found, man, that when you try to share with people, when you try to share with them this type of knowledge, this understanding that we have, I am telling you, this verse here in 2 Timothy, it always jumps up in my mind, where there will come a time, no matter how logical you sound, or the things you say are, and you are talking to people, I'm telling you, if you are the type that like to try to share and be a light, share with people, that sort of thing, you are going to find they can't hear. They have no foundation, no logic foundation. There's another place, I think it's in Hebrews, where it says the God of this world has blinded the minds of those who believe. Now, Paul, at that point, he was talking about the gospel he was bringing, but you can easily apply that to what you faith is, what we go through. You could flip that verse where he talks about how the God of this world has blinded the minds of those who believe, you can easily see how that's talking to people about the Oahspe. It's the most amazing thing. The creator, he's made it to where the logic that he's sharing with us is nearly irrefutable. And people, you witness with your own eyes what darkness really is. You can say 2 + 2 is 4, and people will fight with you. Like to give an example, I find one of the things I talk about a lot is I try to start off with how there's a difference between a God and a Lord. There's a creator, and he creates gods and lords. And if people say, no, God is a creator, simple stuff. And then you try to give an example like, are parents their children? Are parents the same as the children? You see what I mean? You try to make an analogy, and people will say no. And then you say something like, do parents create children or do children create parents? And they'll say parents create children. But then when you try to say, now does it make sense that the creator creates gods and lords, some righteous, some wicked? And they say, no, God is the creator. I'm telling you, it's the most amazing thing you ever seen in your life. Grown up people who cannot, just like the scripture says, there will come a time people will not hear sound doctrine. Now, I'm telling you something, man. The things that we're interested in, the things that we talk about as faithists, the things that we're into, I'm telling you, we are in a real hothouse, an agricultural hothouse that I talked about earlier, a time of testing. A testing, man. I see my screen blinking out and interruptions, and I'm sorry, brethren. As I go along, I'll get better with the technical issues on my channel. But, brethren, I'm here to tell you, man, I'm here to tell you what we have, the open mind that we have, the ability to hear the creator, the ability to drop everything and to join ourselves to what the creator is sharing with us, man. If you take that for granted, man, I mean, I wish I had the words to describe how crazy you are. And we got to think that way. When you look at the world, like they show you the elite of the world. Do you know spiritually, that's what you brethren are? You brethren are, like, give you an example, man. You go on YouTube or you go and look at the news. They always show you the elite of the world. See, the world love its own. They love its own, man. They show you famous people. They show you rich people. They show you athletes, all the top of the line, spirits, mortals in the flesh. Brethren, spiritually, do you know that that's talking about you, faithists? That's the creator showing you spiritually what you in the spiritual. And if you think I'm kidding, like I said, I don't want to start dancing and trying to go to the Oahspe. You seen what happened just trying to bring up this verse. It damn near killed me. Screen froze and, so I got to figure all that out. But do you know in the Oahspe, it says that faithists will be supreme in all the world. Do you, brethren, remember where it says faithists will be supreme in all the world? And it's not like no one else can be faithists except us, anybody. But the world does not want the things that the creator is sharing right now. The world don't want it. That's the power of the false gods in our reality today. The title of the video is How the World Wastes Time. They waste time being blinded. And really, if I may, the secret to finding the creator is sincerity, if I may say so. When you are really honest with yourself. Now, I could be wrong, but when you are really, really honest with yourself, the inside of you, when you really are digging deep, now I could be wrong, when you really start asking questions, that's how I found, or the creator found me, or I found him. I don't know how it works. All my life, I've always wondered, ever since I realized that everything is vanity and vexation of spirit. Unfortunately, I learned that at a very young age. A very young age. Ecclesiastes 3, vanity of vanity, says the preacher. All is vanity and vexation of spirit. I learned that at a very young age, man. Very young age. And I had to go through those twists and turns, those ups and downs. I had to go through Christianity. I had to go through Hebrew Israelite. But I would not let go, man. I would not. And I trust it's the same for you, brother. And that's why you were brought into the light. If anything, this channel here, I want to impress upon anybody that will listen. And I may not be the most eloquent, the most learned brother, but I do know this, man. I know when there's something that's working on me that is from the creator, and I have to say it. I've got to speak it. I got to let it out, man. The year that I was off, it seems like there were times I was going to be burnt alive because I wasn't sharing the things showing me. And I just want to tell you, brother, man, that thing that you got inside of you that makes you able to receive the things, some of you, brother, you play with the creator. And I'm talking about faithists too. You play with him, man, you know, meaning you don't take him very seriously. You don't treasure the creator, man. I mean, you don't really treasure him. I'm sorry to sound harsh. He's a secondary part of your life. You know, you don't feel no desire to spread the light, share the light. I'm not saying, I mean, the creator, he talked to you about your spiritual grade. I have one, and I heard you determine when we jump off into the spirit, it determines our landing spot, and again, that's another thing that, you the world don't really care about dying and, afterlife, and but they really don't. The world don't really care about that. They just tell you something, man. If you serious about the creator, it, I'm disabled, brother, and I got a wheelchair van where the side comes out. Have y'all ever seen those vans where the side it comes out on the side of the van? You roll up the people. Yeah, I went and parked. I went inside the store. I came back out. Somebody had me blocked in. 5 or 6 people, and I got these little index cards. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. Let me go grab one. Hold on a second. Be you you're going to be able to see it. Let me see if you can see it. Okay. And I like to pass those out. It's a good way to share with people. That's why the creator is letting this happen to me while I'm blocked in and I can't, because it made me have to sit in front of the store, and I was able to strike up a conversation with anybody that, if they had a shirt that talked about the Bible, or if there was anything, up a conversation. Hey, Prince, good to see you too, brother. I'm back, man. It's during, like, so anyway, I was out there for like a couple hours waiting for this person to move their vehicle so I could enter my vehicle. And in waiting, the creator, I had talked to like 4 or 5 people that great to what I was trying to share with them. But the final two, and I only had two cards left. Two of these index cards left when the creator, he sent out 2 men. He sent out man, he sent out 2 young men who they were able to move my van for, but they and Churchill spent about an hour out there talking with them. And they were like, they were at work and they were listening. Now I'm telling you, brethren, this because people need to hear you speak about the creator. I'm telling you, man, they need to hear you talk to them. I talked to these brothers, man, and they gave what one dude said, yeah, man, I tried to heard this before. Go back to work. You know? Now, it'll make your whole month. I got like 500 of these index cards. And most people take them and throw them away. See, that's the darkness that's in the world. And even when you make the most soundest, logical presentations for the Creator, do you, brethren, do you know you live in a world where people cannot hear this? And all its simplicity, the Oahspe is so simple, man. Do you know people can't hear it? Do you know people can't get on the bus? They can't make the bus. They got to wait for the next cycle of life. You know, brother, let me say something, man. I'm a cycle, 200-year cycle. There's going to be a resurrection. Now, I think it's talking about for brethren who are in the spiritual right now. When you go into the spirit and the harvest cycle ends, I think the resurrection is in the spiritual, not while we're on the earth. We go from the mortal to the second resurrection. From what I understand, we go to the first resurrection, but we avoid the areas of darkness, the heavy, dense areas of the first resurrection. From what I understand, they skip those. They skip that part of the first resurrection. They go to the resurrection heaven of light. I think what I'm trying to say is this a far better, greater situation for you, brethren. Our resurrection, our spirit, our unity, and the world really cares about. Nobody really. I mean, the things that you know, your eternity. I'm telling you, man, we in a place where we are surrounded. You brethren, I'm telling you, man, we are surrounded, and they can play with it. And it seems to me the Creator is what's a good description? To me, that's like equivalent to 3 days from being evicted, living a life like that. You know, the tension, the anxiety. It seemed like the Creator for our reality, He's made it to where you're on one side all the way, man, or you're on the other. With this knowledge that we've been given, you can't play with it. You know, the other day, this lady kept talking about bless you. Yeah, bless you. And God this, God that. I said, hey, look, lady, look here. I said, I'm gonna share some. I said, what's the difference between a God and a Lord? You know, I always start off with that. You know, Oahspe 101. She's a Christian, right? Now, I don't want to sound harsh, but they don't know anything. They can't even hear sound logic. I said, lady, what's the difference between a God and a Lord? Will you tell me that? She said, I don't know. I said, a God is above a Lord. A God is more powerful than a Lord. She said, God is Lord. Jesus is Lord. And then she ended up calling me a demon. What we up against. And I think it's on purpose to make you want to leave, to make you eager for our resurrection, to be with our own kind. I mean, I don't want to sound vulgar, you know, But I think as a faithist, we supposed to look forward to leaving the earth. Look forward to that. I think we're supposed to look forward to that. I know I am. I'll be honest with you. I am. I'm sick and tired, man, to be honest with you. I don't want to be around the Uzzians, the anti-Jehovahans. Hey, Sharice. Hey, sisters. Good to see you. I'm back. I think I'm going to be doing Fridays and Tuesdays. And I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. It's good to see you, Sharice. It's good to see you, sis. Good to see all y'all, man. You know, I'm sorry I took off, but it was equivalent to when Jesus, when he got baptized and he got brought into the wilderness. That's kind of like what happened to me. I got hit with a medical emergency, and it shook me so bad. I stopped ministering for this whole time, and but it was for a purpose, so that I would come back stronger and more convicted when I pick up the videos again. And now I promise you, I am. You know, I'm rooting for you, brethren. I'm telling you the truth, man. You know, I'm rooting for you more than ever. I promise you, I am, man. You know, dedicate this time to being selfless. Redeem the time, man. Redeem it. Draw near to the Creator, because you're going to need to, man. Don't play with this truth. Don't play with it, man. Take it seriously. Don't care if people don't hear you. You know, I'd be passing out these index cards, and people, they take them, they throw them away in my face. They crumble them up. You know, that's how far away we are from the Creator. I'm telling you, brethren, the truth, man. I'm telling you the truth as a brother who cannot shut his mouth. I cannot shut my mouth, man. I know I make mistakes in my learning and my understanding. I'm like a little kid who's trying to tell his mom, his dad, how I went to school today. I realize that. But one thing I can say about the Oahspe and the Creator is I ain't about to give up. You can hang that up. The thing that he done put in me, and I know it's in you, brethren, too, you can forget giving up. We ain't letting this go. This here is a channel that lead you somewhere. This ain't no channel that lead you nowhere. This channel is meant to lead anyone who will listen to the Creator. Straight to the Creator, man. That's the purpose of this channel. I'm not into hating the white man and putting, you know, how he got his foot on our neck anymore. I ain't into that no more. I used to be, you know, putting people down because it's easy to do, pointing out people's faults because it's easy to do, criticizing people because it's easy to do. We live in a whole world like it's easy. That's low-hanging fruit. Talking about what's wrong with every damn thing, complaining, you know. People, do you know people feed off of that? We live in a world, people, they love that. Complaining, talking crap, feeding off of others' misery. And all the while, every day, it goes by. And you have not redeemed the time. You know, the world don't know how to redeem the time. Faithists know. Brethren, that's where you live. Do you, brethren, understand, man? That's where you live. You know, that's where you live, man. We live in darkness. We're just like the Creator said. We're in the embryo. We're in the womb. The embryo. We're waiting to be born. Did you, brother, know that? Do you know we're waiting to be born? See, that's why the Creator said, take the time and you shape yourself. Shape yourself. Make good decisions. Be selfless. Fight the Satan that's within you. Fight it. Fight the power, man. That's how we resurrect. That's how we elevate. That's how we increase our spiritual grade. See, that ain't important to the world. I'm talking to you about things that the world don't care about. They don't care about the things you, brethren, care about. I'm trying to tell you the truth, man. What you got is if someone, man, the creator, he lets us go through doubt, uncertainty. He let us go through it. See, that's how you make a solid spirit. He know that. See? Because when our faith turned to sight, you talking about a brother that's unshakable, a sister or brother that's unshakable now. He's unshakable, man. He been on the red star. He been through uncertainty. He been through doubt. When his faith turned to sight, man, you got a solid brother and sister on the expressway to godhood and goddesshood. Not saying that we care about that, becoming gods and goddesses, but it's the truth. See, you ask the world, hey, you want to be a god or a goddess? Yeah, because they thinking of how they can oppress their brother. That's what they thinking, how they can oppress their brother or sister, how they can take power over them. Speaking only for myself, I really just don't care about those type of things. I just don't, man. I perceive it's the same way with you, brethren, too. It don't sound right, logical. Knowing that you will become the creator, his purpose is for us to become gods and goddesses. How do you like that? But it's amazing to me that I just don't really care. I like the will of the creator, man. I simply love it. I like it, I love the truth of it. I love the justice of it. I love knowing that people don't get away with doing evil. We got leaders in this world. We got people who rule over us. The Uzzians, they rule over us. Anti-Jehovians, religious people, they don't know the light. They don't care about it, don't want to know about the creator. They think this is all there is. Get it while you can. That's where we live. Do you know you brethren live there? Like I said before, every time you turn on, you go to the news, they show you the movie stars and how they on top, you on the bottom. We got it. You ain't got nothing. They don't know that we send, who was it? Dorothy? You remember Dorothy? The Wizard of Oz. You remember Dorothy? Them red slippers. See, we got those red slippers on. Remember the witch? She said, hey, cuz, give it up. And Dorothy said, here, take them. And she said, all right. And she went and touched them, and she got jazzed. She got tasered. See, it's the same way with you, brother. Nobody can take it from you. The creator, he gave you something. Nobody can take it from you. Nobody can take that from you, man. And you can't really give it away. You can share it, you know what I mean? But what they do with it, that's out of your control. That's out of your control. You know what I'm saying? The light, see, it's the most amazing thing you ever seen. And we got it. Spiritually, if you look at Yahoo News and Google and the TV and YouTube's the spiritual version, all the people that come up on people's feeds, would be faithists. Faithists. Now, I know I sound kooky. I'm just trying to paint you a picture. I'm just trying to paint you a picture of the spiritual. Why? Because the creator described us that way. He be describing us that way. I ain't BSing you. You know, I'm not. I'm telling you what I have learned by reading in the Oahspe. At some point, man, you should be able to get a feel of the creator of the. You should be able to get a idea. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. The creator, he opens his arms to everybody, man. And some people, I don't know how to describe it. You know, very few people make the resurrection who come on to the red star, the earth. Do you know that very few people make the resurrection? You, brethren, you ought to think about that. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. Primarily because people will not let go of deity worship. They will not let go of that deity. They won't let go. They can't see that deity. They see him. They will not let him go. That's where you brethren live, man. We live. People will not let that deity go. Jesus Christ is fire insurance. It don't matter what I do. You can find me in the club 6 days a week and once on Sunday, and it's all good because Jesus, he did it all. It's all on him. I just put it on his tab. That's where, I'm speaking about Christianity, but the creator, he condemns all the religions. He condemns them. The creator condemns all religion. And that's where, y'all remember that story? Do you remember that story in the Bible? You remember the rich man? Do y'all remember that one? There's spiritual truth to that story. Remember the rich man? The rich man and Lazarus? Y'all remember that story? They both crossed over. Y'all remember that one? They both crossed over, didn't they? And then Lazarus went to Abraham's bosom. Lazarus went to Abraham's bosom, right? And then the rich man entered into torments. And then he told the angel, he said, send Lazarus to dip his finger in some water because my tongue is tormented in these flames, right? And then the angel said, no, because remember, there's a great gulf affixed. There's a great gulf affixed. Now, thankfully, mercifully, the creator says everybody is going to resurrect. That's good to know. Nobody is lost forever. Nobody is lost forever. Now that's good. That's good news right there. That's kind of news. I like to hear that, you know. And the angel said, besides, there is a great gulf affixed so that those who are on that side cannot cross over to us, and Lazarus cannot cross over to you. Brethren, you know what you can say that's talking about? People's minds, their minds, the Uzians and the Faithists, their minds. The Uzians are worldly, material. They don't do battle with their Satan, which is themselves. Their minds, it has a great gulf affixed so that they can't cross over into the light. And I'm talking about right here on the red star on the earth. They cannot cross over to where the Faithists are. They can't cross over. Brethren, they cannot. It's like sometimes I'll just look at people and shake my head, man. I just shake my head. I say to myself, man, I got all this pizza that I want to give to you. I want to give it to you, man, free of charge. Here you are. You don't want it. You just don't. And I make a mistake a lot of times because what I try to do is sometimes I try to jam it down their throat. I try to force it on them. And the creator, he just keeps saying, Yaquab, you can't do that, man. You can't do it. The gift that you have, that's for you. That's for you. Those red slippers, those are yours. You can't give them away. It's only for you. Now, you can share if you want to. I may use you to share with another faithist. You can share, but you can't force nobody into this. I won't allow it. Now is your time to get on the bus. As simple as that. As simple as that, man. That's the reality we live under. That is the reality we live under. So if you're like a faithist, if you can subscribe to the Oahspe, I hope you take it seriously. I hope you learn, man. I hope you serious about this thing, trying to learn, because you have to continually read and learn so that you can keep your batteries charged. Every time you read the Oahspe, man, it blesses you. It fills you. It's something about the language, the wording of that book, of that revelation. Now, don't forget, brethren, again, my channel, man, I'm all about you, brethren. I've been talking a lot. I don't want to dance around right now because I don't think my internet connection is that great. And I don't want to start jumping and dancing and losing connection. And, so today, primarily, I'm talking. But I'm still going to have this channel pretty much like I had it before. My dream is for you, brethren, to come and talk and testify, speak to the Creator, speak to other brethren, use my channel, talk to one another, share about what you're going through. When we talk, it's the will of the Creator that we talk to one another, man. I think I see why he don't let us gather in churches. I think I can see the reason for that now, at least for right now. Because once men get a hold of this knowledge, you know how men are, you know how the spirits of the Uzians are. If they got a hold of this knowledge of the Oahspe, and they saw how they could get power over people, do you know that a church, if a Uzian gets a hold of the Oahspe, and I believe there are spirits in the world, they can learn the Oahspe, but really they're not faithists in heart. What I mean by that is they use it for their own glorification. They use it for their own, what's a good word for self-aggrandizement? Is that the right word? Vainglory. It's the same story with Christianity. Men, they get a hold of that word. They get a hold of it. I even seen a video with like a 6-year-old preacher. He's got the gift of gab, a 6-year-old, or is it 7 or 8 and he, at that young age, he's learned how to mimic pastors. At that young, He can talk a sermon. See, when men get a hold, when they and the creator, you can't fake out the creator, man. It's like he threw Christianity he let Christianity come on the world, knowing that men would hijack it for in order to commercialize it. And that's exactly what happened. And they make money off of it. And I have to think he don't let us faithists gather in churches for right now. He don't let us get together as a community right now because it's always going to be some guy going to want to take charge. I'm telling you, if a brother wanted to, I don't know how to say this. I'm going to just say it and let y'all decipher it. A faithist church could explode. You brother know what I'm talking about too. Do you know a brother who starts, if an unrighteous brother, let me say that, he could start a faithist church, preaching the Oahspe. And do you know that church would explode? But I don't think the creator allows it because men see money. I don't know how to say this, but if men get a hold of the Oahspe and they see the knowledge that's in it and how nobody else has it, dollar signs would start ringing in their ears. Because this information, people are dying for this information that the creator is sharing, and yet nobody wants it. But if you get an Uzian up there who's able to learn this information and then start a church, in no time at all, there wouldn't be enough room to fit 100,000 people in a single building. This knowledge is this light is too bright, man. And if we were gathered together in churches, and it would be subject to commercialization. I think that's the reason why we don't see a lot of faithist churches. Because there's always got to be somebody who wants to take over. You know what I mean? And there are men in the world, they're able to speak, you know? They have the gift of communication where they can convince people, they can deceive people. You know, false gods, they give power. You know, in the Bible, y'all remember that story where Jesus Christ was talking, and he was talking about how do you describe it? The affinity between a father and a son. And you could extrapolate that out to say any family relationship, you know. He said, which of you having a son, if he asks for an egg, will give him a stone? Y'all remember that? The Jesus of the New Testament. And what he was saying, matter of fact, he said, which of you having a son, if he asks for an egg, will give him a stone? And he was describing what false gods do for their children in the world as well. They give gifts to their children, false gods, so they can prosper here on the red star, on the earth. That's why you have the Uzians, the anti-Jehovians, they prosper in the world. They have gifts because just like Jesus of the New Testament said, which of you having a son, if he asks for an egg, will give him a stone? In other words, false gods know how he knows how to bless his people. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to share with you. You can look at this reality and flip it on its head, and this reality is showing you what our reality is in the spiritual. In this reality, they talk about their famous people, they talk about their rich people in this reality on the red star. But spiritually, if you flipped the script, you would be seeing in the news feeds constant stories about this faithist, that faithist. You see, it would be turned upside down. It's just that we in the flesh, we can't see the spirit. We can't see the spiritual. Some of you can. Some of y'all can visit the spiritual realm. Most of us, I think most of us can't. I can't, except for my inner light. You know, I got an inner light that just won't quit, man. I'm not trying to brag. I assume I'm saying the same, that the same is true for all of y'all. Now, what I was saying earlier is I want to emphasize, brethren, that you come on my channel and share about things that you are going through, you know, and to encourage others, you know, and for you to be encouraged, because that's all that's really important. This channel, my channel here, I want it to be an encouragement. I'm going to try to hold to doing it on Friday evenings and Tuesday evenings right now. I want it to be a place where we can gather, where we can talk to one another. You want to share something that's on your heart? Because I'm telling you, man, where we live, it ain't easy. Living with these people, having to live under this current darkness, and all we got are the ashars to help us and the light of this word and other brethren. That's all we got. And faithists don't like to support one another. We don't like to support one another. I say that because of my experience on Facebook. I think that really beaten up, man, and I pray the Creator help us. We need help. Another reason for it, so that's another reason for this channel, man. I hope y'all take advantage of it and get to the point where we can talk to one another, get on here and share with one another. And then that's how we going to spread the light, man. My channel and other channels they've got to grow. We got to come together, man. And then we got to start talking to one another so that the world sees it. The Creator, he said, it don't matter. The kingdom is going to come on the earth. It's going to come on the earth. Now, as you brethren probably know, I don't know if you know or not, but the Unknown Many have put out a volume set. Let me go grab it so I can show it to you, brethren, where it's a supplement to the Oahspe. And it's a 6-volume set where it's meant to break down the Oahspe into different verses by subject matter to help you, to spark your interest. Let me go get one of the books. Hold on one second. I want to show it to you. And anybody who looks at the videos, let me go grab one and show it to you so that you can know what it looks like. And hold on one second. Okay. This is it right here. Now, it's a 6-volume set, all right? Put it up to the camera. And it's something that the Unknown Many have put out, okay? It's a pretty thick book. It's 6 of these books. And it's written in such a way, PowerPoint presentation, where it cherry picks verses according to subject matter for the purpose of sparking. It's written in such a way to deal with short attention spans, because we live in a reality where people like it short and easy. Give it to them quick. So that's the way the 6-volume set is compiled, and it's a supplement to the Oahspe, and it's meant to be a blessing. And so that's what it looks like. It's on Amazon. And so the Creator, he said, the kingdom is going to come on the earth. It's going to come on the earth. There ain't nothing that men can do about it. It is going to come. And it may not look like it, because this is a world of evil, man. We live in a world of evil, And our leaders, don't get me started about what the Creator says about the type of leaders that are going to be in the world today. Your brother, remember what it says, what the Creator says in the Oahspe. You remember what he said? Are great offices, nothing but rogues. These are unprincipled, undisciplined, immoral men. And what do you see in the world today? The Creator, the things that he's telling us, you can't even describe. And he primarily about people's spirits. About people's spirits. I mean, the way he is so accurate, it's just out of this world. So anyway, brethren, I think that I'm gonna bring things to a close now. I'm back. I expect to come back. I expect to do a Tuesday, Friday schedule. I'm gonna do a Tuesday, Friday schedule. For right now, I think I'm gonna hold to a Tuesday, Friday schedule. Depends on what I'm influenced to do. 5 p.m. I live in Arizona now, so I think it's like 2 hours ahead of East Coast time, or 3 hours. I think it's 2 hours. I don't know, Mountain time. So is there anyone who wants to come on and share anything before I close the video down? It's good to see y'all. Okay, so Jehovah, thank you for this. Oh, take my hat off. So Jehovah, thank you for this opportunity. I pray for my brethren and for the light to spread and grow. And my brethren can always only redeem the time. Always just redeem the time while we're here on the Red Star, that we may redeem the time, because the days are evil. The days are evil. No one really speaks of your word. The world is not ready for your light right now. And so we are so outnumbered. So Jehovah, I just pray that my brethren, you'll strengthen us, that you'll bring us safely to the resurrection. And thank you for allowing us to open our minds and to be able to receive the things that we've talked about here on the video. So, brethren, I'm going to go ahead and close the video now. Thanks for joining me. Join me again Tuesday. I'm going to try to keep a Tuesday, Friday schedule. And hopefully I can deal with these technical issues and my broadcast will be a lot better. So, brethren, thanks again for joining me. And until next time, okay? I'll see you.